Yeah. Thank you. You can also get a copy of a signed book by Honorable Sicily Kariuki. We have 2 points. We have that point and we have another point. So if you need a signed book, you can get it from there. So once again, welcome. Make yourself comfortable. Our event will begin in the next 5 minutes. Make sure you talk to a stranger. Talk to a stranger. And this is how you start a conversation. How are you doing? Bei ya mafuta iko namna gani? Then the conversation starts from there. So once again, welcome. Get a copy of a signed memoir, that table and a that table. And our program will begin in the next 5 minutes. And you're most welcome at this beautiful event. Bless you. Thank you very much. For the ones asking, the books are going for, the hard copy is going for 3.5 and the soft copy is going for 2.5. If you need a signed memoir, we have them at that. There's a lady at the back there and the gentleman. And we also have some on that other end. So make yourself comfortable. Get a memoir from Honorable Sicily Kariuki. And even as we launch, you know exactly what is happening. So once again, karibuni sana. Our event is about to begin. So make yourself comfortable. And as soon as we are settled, we are going to begin part of this program. So once again, the book goes for 3.5, the hard copy. The soft copy goes for 2.5. And you can get a signed copy from Honorable Sicily Kariuki. We have two counters. We have that counter and we have another counter there. So get to know more about the Breaking the Illusions. And once again, you're welcome. Now we'll begin in the next few minutes. Karibuni sana. So this is the hardcover, which goes for 3.5. Then there is a soft cover. There's a very big difference between soft copy and soft cover. This is a soft cover. So this is going for 2.5. And of course, you get it signed by Honorable Sicily Kariuki. So once again, before you get your seat, kindly get your book. This one goes for 2.5 and the other one goes for 3.5. The hard cover is this one, very beautiful, Danny. This one is beautifully done, and also this one is also beautifully done. And if you need a signed one, we have them both. So once again, welcome na karibu sana.
We love you, we exalt you. For this is our single prayer of faith in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Wahungu. We are here for the launch of this memoir, Breaking the Illusions. And as I had mentioned earlier on, we have two books. We have the hardcover. This one is going for 3,500, and we also have this other one, soft cover, which is going for 2,500. You'll also get this book signed by presented here, starting with the clergy, our leaders, and everyone else. I can see a lot of people here. Every profession is well represented. And without wasting much of your time, I would like to introduce Mr. Kariuki to take us through to the next session. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to Dr. Mr. Kariuki.
Thank you very much, Bwana MC. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Allow me to recognize in a very special way our dear author, Honorable C.S. Sicily Kariuki, and the husband, Mr. Kariuki Chege, and also to recognize the entire family of the CS. I have seen a number of them. Wherever you are seated, we are very happy that you joined us today during this auspicious occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, this gathering has got very many distinguished guests. So in the interest of time, kindly allow me to just mention a few of them. And in the event that I do not mention you, please know that we do recognize your presence today. We are very happy that Honorable Kipruto Arap Kirwa is here with us, and he came quite early. Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. Professor Jesse Mogambi was also here very early. Thank you very much, Professor, for attending. Seen Dr. Frank Jenga and his wife, Karibu Sana Daktari. Professor Margaret Kobia is here with us, and Professor Kobia, I think this should be the fourth launch that you're attending for EAP, so we feel greatly honored. Thank you very much, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce the team from East African Educational Publishers, starting with the members of the board of directors. Kindly come. For the last 20 years, and our chairman, Dr. Henry Chakava, most of you know him. He is one of the best known publishers in Africa, was not able to come for this particular function due to other reasons. So thank you very much, board. I will very quickly also introduce members of the management, top management. Sharon, top management, East African Education Publishers. We have Sharon Chakava. She is a director in charge of operations. We have Mr. Nicholas Washira. He is a publishing manager, and he is basically the person who has worked tirelessly on this book together with his team. These again is a team now that steers the company at management. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, just a few months ago, we gathered at the Serena Hotel to launch yet another autobiography. This time round by Ambassador Dr. Francis Mudaura, called A Moving Horizon. Some of the guests who are here, including Professor Kobia, and of course the CS herself, Kariuki, graced that occasion and joined us to witness the launch of Ambassador Mudaura's work. We celebrate you who attended that launch, and you are here today because this is a demonstration that you are book lovers. And this is a demonstration that you are book lovers. Always excited, we as publishers, to be associated with an audience such as this. To be associated with an audience such as this. We believe, and rightfully so, we believe that through the efforts of publishing, writing, and reading, we can build through the efforts of knowledge economy in the country, in Africa, and beyond. We can build a strong knowledge economy in the country if we celebrate the book and if we attend such functions. You will be happy to note that if we celebrate from this particular book which we are launching today, Breaking the Illusions, you will be happy to note we have also published other iconic apart from this particular book which we are launching today, Breaking Our House is the publisher of Jomo Kenyatta's Facing Mount Kenya. We are the publishers of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga's biographies, Not Yet Uhuru, autobiographies. Jenga Karume's Our House Beyond is the publisher of From Chako to Gold. Kiraito Murungi's Beyond Politics. General Daniel Opande's In Pursuit of Peace in Africa. And even Michael Blando's Jenga Karume's A Love Affair with the Sun. You will notice that those are just a few of the very many Beyond Politics major books that we have published. General Daniel And therefore, it will be right to say that ours in Africa is of great and enduring works. We take pride with the sun in having a solid whole of fame. You will notice that of authorship. Those are a few of the terms that we publish, and therefore, and we excited today that powerhouse, honorable Sicily Kariuki and enduring works is getting. We take pride into having a solid hall of fame in terms of authorship. In terms of the books that we publish. However, ladies and gentlemen, this list into this as you have listened when I was mentioning the names, it is dominated by male authors. Ladies and gentlemen, we have not mentioned any female authors. As you have listened when I was mentioning the names by others, we are guilty. We have charged. We are guilty. The contribution of women leaders, right from pre-independence, written form. The blame is twofold. I said we, as EAP and as publishers, we are guilty as charged. We admit that we have not been proactive enough with regard to scouting for good works, with regard to encouraging achievers to write their stories, to tell their side of the story, and therefore we can go ahead and publish them. But also, the women leaders are to blame because most of them have shied away from telling their own stories, perhaps apprehensive that they might be seen to be blowing their own trumpets. So we must commend Honorable Sicily Kariuki for taking the gauntlet and writing her story, telling her story. In a way, her story is a wake-up call to all women leaders in the country and beyond. And in the words of Chinua Achebe, he of Things Fall Apart, he talks about that lizard that jumped from the high Iroko tree. And when no one was there to celebrate it, it decided to celebrate itself. So do not shy away from telling your own story. Celebrate yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, book lovers, reading Honorable Sicily Kariuki's Breaking the Illusions, one would be forgiven for commenting that the term go-getter must have been coined with her in mind. Here is a girl born in a nondescript village deep in Embu, growing up amidst challenges that inform every rural setting. Here is a girl, an adolescent girl, who fails to meet the minimum entry points to university, but instead of lapsing into the vagaries of early marriage, she confidently decides to repeat class. Hence, the chapter in the book called Grade 7. And ladies and gentlemen, I will pause for a minute to let His Excellency Justin Muturi, the Attorney General, settle as she greets our author and other distinguished guests. Karibu sana, Honorable Justin Muturi. And I will re-emphasize that reading Breaking the Illusions, one would be forgiven for commenting that the term go-getter must have been coined with the Sicily Kariuki in mind. Here is a girl born in a nondescript village deep in Embu, growing up amidst challenges that inform most modest families in rural settings all over the country, but remains undaunted in spite of all these challenges. Here is a young adolescent girl who fails to meet the minimum entry points to university, but instead of lapsing into the vagaries of early marriage, she confidently decides to repeat class. Hence, the chapter in the book which is entitled Form 7. In her journey, which is defined by resilience, Sicily even teaches in a boys-only school deep in Mbere. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of us who know what it means for a young lady to teach an adolescent Mbere male and even instill discipline, we must agree that the good CS is made of what Shakespeare calls the sterner stuff. She goes ahead to even instill discipline at Nyango Boys High School, which unfortunately results in a strike. But every cloud has a silver lining, because the strike at Nyango makes her to be a head teacher at only 21 years of age. It is this go-getter attitude and mindset that sees her join the University of Nairobi, and because she was a go-getter, she graduated with a Bachelor of Commerce degree and also left the university with a fiancé who later became her husband. Her post-university job hunting skills should be a must-read for many fresh graduates. Although it is true that the job market in Kenya is rather worrying, reading Sicily's book, Young Graduates, and I hope we have young graduates in this gathering, young graduates, we realize that it is never a walk in the park. Even 30 years ago, it was never a walk in the park. Read Sicily's book and you will see. Yet, the jobs are always available. And the stereotype that you can only get a job in an organization where you know somebody, she dismantled that. Sicily demonstrated that jobs are available through a combination of focus, confidence, the spirit of not giving up in spite of being turned away, and a positive, aggressive approach. In a word, her go-getter attitude. Needless to mention, these are some of the qualities and values that have seen the good CS literally break the glass ceiling, hence serving in senior positions in the corporate world and eventually earning the position of CEO, serving as a technocrat in government, as a PS, and rising to the position of CS. I have personally always held the view that the best motivational books are actually autobiographical works. They are works of real human beings achieving real things that we can relate to. It is along this line that I would like to term Sicily's memoirs as a practical motivational work. It is a real life experience of a woman we can all relate to. We have seen her work. There are those who have seen her grow up. Dr. Kimuru also arrived quite early, actually, to be precise, at 4 p.m. We had a chat. She's one of those people who saw the good CS grow up. So we are talking about a real person doing real thing, not imaginary things. It is a real-life experience of a woman we can all relate to. It is a realistic narrative of a woman who has made indelible footprints on the sands of time. It is an inspiring journey of a woman who has an enduring legacy owing to her indefatigable efforts in very many facets of life. Fellow book lovers, therefore, I highly recommend this book to all of us. To the young generation, I would like to urge you to travel with Sicily Kariuki, right from the nondescript Gakwegori village in Embu to the state-of-the-art corner office of Cabinet Secretary. You travel with her through that journey, and you emerge with invariable life lessons that will help you chart a bright future for yourself. To the technocrats in government, Sicily's book will not only demonstrate that merit matters in promotion, but also that there are multiple minefields you should learn to delicately navigate in order to serve society, while at the same time achieving your goals. Even serving and aspiring politicians will benefit from Sicily's breaking the illusions, for most of them might not be cognizant of the illusory nature of the body politics and the need to break such illusions in order to achieve higher goals. I therefore urge all of us to invest in the book. I particularly urge those in government to ensure that it is available in the libraries at the ministries, of course at the Kenya School of Government, the Kenya National Library Services, all public and private universities and beyond. As I conclude, I want to remind you that the greatest repository of knowledge resides in the book. And we always invest very wisely when we buy one. Therefore, kindly don't leave this gathering without a copy or copies of the book to donate to those who love reading. And know that it is available in both print and digital format. We have copies here. We have hard copy, we have paperback, but much more, we also have digital format. Click of a button, you can purchase through the African Books Collective or through Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Kariuki Kamau, the CEO, East African Educational Publishers. Allow me now to invite the author, and I think we can all stand up. Let us all stand up. Tumkaribishe na ile makofi ya kilo. 1, 2, 3, makofi. Louder. Louder. Makofi. Makofi. Asante. Funga. Fungua. Honorable Kipruto Arap Kirwa is laughing. You have remembered something.
Thank you very much, MC. Where do you want me to start? The Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, my good friend, J.B. Muturi, I still call him Sir, Speaker Sir. I think that is what you're known for. That's your brand. This other one has not. Haija ingia. My boss, after 6, KC, the father of my children. My former boss, Honorable Kipruto Arap Kirwa, the only man who could dare sign a gazette notice to make Sicily Kariuki a CEO before she was 40. My colleague and friend, Honorable Kobia, Professor. My former colleague and friend, Dr. Taimur, who made me a worthy Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation. My very own son, do you tell people?
I keep telling them.
The Honorable Njeru Ndwega. I don't know who is the son of who. Yes, but you can continue claiming that. The CEO and the board members, management and staff of East Africa Publishers, my colleagues that we have served with in different places, different spaces, my children who are present here today, my sister Lois, who dared dream and put a bet in me and paid my school fees as I went to Form 7, and your children, book lovers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Good evening. I want to thank you first and foremost for coming to help me launch this book that Mr. Kiari has so eloquently elaborated upon. You had stuff to do, you had work to do, including just chilling out. It's a Friday, but you chose to join me. I do not take that for granted, and may the good Lord reward you for the time that you have spared to be with us, my family and I, and my friends. Those who are watching us virtually, I also want to recognize and appreciate you for linking in. Although my initial title for this book 2 years ago was The Mistaken Identity, after consulting with the publishers last year, it felt like it was a very ordinary statement. Mistaken identity. I think each one of us has had a season where you're mistaken, and therefore it was too ordinary. But this title evolved very, very quickly, and it moved to breaking the illusions. This title is a reflection of the burden that I have carried as a result of the mistaken identity tag in many places, but particularly in high office. This book, which has been in the oven the last 2 years, was motivated by many twists and turns that I have faced since I was young. I was stirred, though, into writing this book not long ago when members of Parliament, 170 of them, instead of focusing on their core work of legislating, spent inordinate amounts of time trying to impeach me after they failed to understand who I was. Not once, but twice. You know, and it's interesting that what goes round comes round. Mr. Speaker, sir, you sit here. You are the one who chaired the 2 first motions where indeed the signatures were growing, and the third motion, which was going to be fatal in March of 2018, without a care in this world, busy in my office, doing what I was called to do, I got a 411 that the motion had been withdrawn. Not because I was guilty, not because there was anything that had caused this whole motion, but just because I had been accused of doing the right thing. I don't know that you heard me. Accused of doing the right thing. Doing my job and doing it right. Doing it without being cowed. But through the actions which were aired by several media houses, and I want to recognize our friends from the fourth estate who are here this evening, I stood judged in the court of public opinion. The world out there was presented with one Sicily. And when I looked for that Sicily, I couldn't find them. That Sicily was a stranger to me, my family, and the people who know me. And indeed, this book is a factual record of the real Sicily. I won't spoil your read because the CEO has given us a sneak preview of what the book contains. I won't spoil your read because I'd like you to sit back and enjoy when you're in your own environment. Therefore, find the details of how this was created, how it was cooked, how the impeachment came into being, and how the second one also was hatched. But none of them saw the light of day because they were all based on very flimsy, if you will, grounds. They were based on accusations of trying to recruit a CEO competitively because they had vested interest to get their own CEO in KEMSA. I stood accused because I had a CEO being suspended to allow us to do thorough investigations to bring this facility here, Kenyatta National Hospital, back to life when there were sufficient complaints from the public. I stood accused because I stood firm and I was going to reform the National Health Insurance Fund. I was therefore accused of doing the right thing. Give me another chance today, JB, I'll do exactly that. So I don't know whether I'll survive this time. I'm not sure I'll survive this time. In breaking the illusions, I reflect on the work experiences that have been through so far, how I joined government, the obstacles that I had to overcome, the lessons that I learned along the way, and the accomplishments that I have realized. I'm so very privileged today. Amidst us are several of my mentees, some of them from the Ministry of Health, some of them way back in the private sector days, and they are here today because we've had a good time going and that we've managed to accomplish so much more working together and as a team. In this book, I delve deep into my childhood, the moments and the foundation that shaped me. I can remember, just like it was yesterday, the many wonderful dreams that we shared with some of my friends who are here today, growing up in the village in Igakwegori, going to fetch water in a very famous stream called Kadanje. With a dream. It made me dream about the possibility. The dream blossomed as I grew older. But I knew only hard work would be my savior. My parents, very humble parents, reminded me every day, particularly when I thought playing was better than reading. So I worked hard. Many years later, the dream came to fruition, and I sat in the same office the former minister, J.J. Satin, in Kilimo House, and that was after Kipruto Arap Kirwa had vacated the space. And as I sat there, thank you, and as I sat there then as a PS for agriculture, the late Joe, Mary's brother and my good friend, who is the son of J.J., came to present his father's memoir to me. And he said to me, you know, my father sat exactly where you're sitting. What Joe didn't know is the spark that had in my spirit, in my heart. I'm sitting here as a PS, and here is Joe who had been a minister, and the father had been a minister. and the dream all of a sudden again. And I saw myself not being a PS, but being a CS, and the dream grew. So when they say every dream is valid, please dream. Dream some more. No sooner had I settled in Kilimo as a PS, 2 years later, out of 26 PSs, only I, through the grace of God, was appointed or promoted to join the cabinet in Uhuru's administration. This book tells the story of a woman who has paid the price of an illusion, a deceptive impression of who truly I am. I earned an illusion that I earned because of either challenging the status quo or refusing to conform to lackluster work ethic and corrupt practices in the public sector. Yes, I wouldn't conform. I had to pay the price. In somewhat of a paradox, I write about how I rode on these illusions to get the job done. After all, they say, when life brings you a lemon, make a lemonade out of it. I chose to make a lemonade of my circumstances, and it has served me well. How else would you have reformed the tea sector? My family from the tea sector is here. Nelly, I've seen you. Mwangi, you're there. How else would we have reformed the tea sector? If we didn't ride on my mistaken identity, and when she touched the live wire, people that were untouchable, they said, oh, look at her. She looks like Honorable Meru Amboi. She's a relative of them. Actually, she's from Nyeri. Don't touch her. Allow her to do her work. While Minister Kirwa, you didn't know what we were going through in the back room, that is what helped me in getting a team that helped me to reform the tea sector, to become the leading export earner of the days, and I hope it still is. Breaking the illusions is about the leadership in the public sector, the intrigues, the complexities of leading in cultures where high performance isn't always rewarded. I talk about the different leadership styles that got me to have inspiring teams that I worked with to get the jobs done. My worthy assistant, Kastaimul, you can confirm, we got a job done. We got ourselves dirty, and we got a job done. I have a couple of chairmen from the boards that I served with in government. They can confirm. We were hands-on, we got the job done. I've seen a few of the service providers we worked with, particularly in water, some engineers here. They know that we got the work done. Dr. Frank Jenga, you're aware we did the job. I did appoint before I moved to water to chair a task force that was responsible at looking at matters mental health in this country. So very glad, because finally I saw you deliver the report to my successor, and the rest is history. We got the job done. Another reason why I wrote this book is to demystify some popularly held views. One, that while your networks are your net worth, you can be from a humble family and rise to be a CEO, and rise to be a PS, and rise even to be a CS, or even the AG who comes from a similar, if you will, upbringing, without bribing your way out. I had stories of how people had to take envelopes to members of parliament to be vetted right, to be given a tick. Not a sense did I, and I sailed through. My sister, Kobia, every time we sit and, look at where we are coming from, confirms the same. You don't have to bribe your way to get a job in the public sector. The chairman of the PSC sitting here with us today, Ambassador Mwaniki, I'm sure you can confirm that. You don't need to bribe your way to get a job in the public sector. Preparedness, hard work, self-confidence, the spirit that Kariuki talks about, among other things, matter. And of course, when God is watching. Number two, I write to demystify that you can survive in high public office without sitting late into the night with crooks planning how to plunder public resources. It is possible. Did you hear me? Or did you quite hear me? Because when they go to the public sector, everybody is so very corrupt. They are all thieves. A story in my book where my daughter Njeri, she's sitting here, came home when she was a university student and said, Mom, is this really your car? And I said, what happened? It was at the height of the NYS second scandal, alleged scandal, that she was being trailed because she was riding mommy's car, which was bigger than myself, given where I'm coming from, or her as a university student. And we couldn't. Or working 20 years later, you cannot even afford a car. It therefore means you either have to sit in the night to plan how, but I'm here to demystify that you don't have to. I never one night sat with crooks or my husband, who was sometimes being invited to go and sit in some funny places on my behalf. He declined. I want to demystify the fact that you can be in the public sector and dare to challenge the status quo and get away with it, so long as you're willing to pay the price and you're resilient, because God will always go ahead of you. How else would we have attempted to reform the stuff that we managed to reform in the journeys that I've walked? How else, the Honorable Attorney General, would you be speaking about the Social Insurance Fund today if we didn't actually destabilize the status quo through a task force of some very, very, very well-endowed experts who are sitting here today with me? Some are represented here today, coming back to me and giving me advice after sitting for 6 lengthy months trying to turn NHIF upside down and the universal health coverage upside down. It is possible you can challenge the status quo. And unless and until we challenge the status quo of how business happens in the public sector, shall we then be able to give a service to our people. In this book, I lay open the murkiness of the political arena, especially for women. I use myself as a case study. You know, I read about them when I was in government until I resigned to go and try my hand at being the governor of Nyandarua. Then I came face to face with how murky it gets. I've written about the price of loyalty. I've written about the price of betrayal. I have written about intrigues in the political arena. I tell how innocent people, including my own family and I, became collateral when politics in Kenya went bad a few years ago. Why else would I have been accused of teaming up with colleagues to plan an assassination? Something that even my computer refuses to write. Plan an assassination. Why else? When politics goes bad, it really goes bad. Ladies and gentlemen, book lovers, distinguished guests, this book shares some light bulb moments. Just becoming an untrained head teacher at 21. Rose Mogosho, my core teacher, there were 4 of us who started a girls' school. I was the principal, untrained. She was an untrained teacher. We had another 2 ladies who were also untrained. And we depended on the head teacher who was trained school, Geshesha School. It has grown in leaps and bounds. The former chairman, Mr. Mwadhane, I saw you here. And therefore, just thinking that you can be trusted to teach even 10 girls, let alone a school, which grew within the first time at 21, it meant that somebody was pointing you to be resilient and to do what needed to be done. It prepared me, before I could come to university, to know how to handle my money. It prepared me on how to be able to be within a team and how to manage the team dynamics. But importantly, it prepared me to also know when responsibilities are put on your shoulders, be courageous enough to say, I will do it, and just do it. And what reigns from cabinet, and what a light moment. Who resigns from cabinet, a prestigious office, to go and dirty themselves out in the village? It's quite unusual, you know? But I did, and I was played right there. By the way, today marks the day I resigned. It's exactly 365 days times 2. I resigned on 9th February of the year 2020. to show Honorable AG that even at the devolved level, there can be a different governance template, and that service can be delivered at that point. Never mind, again, as soon as I had resigned, it didn't take me more than 90 days before I was called back. Who does that in the normal world? I was called to go back to cabinet, but 4 years later, it wasn't possible and it wasn't right. Again, I document quite a lot of what happened behind the scenes for me to actually say, here I am, the favor of the Lord is ahead of me. I think that I am having a love affair with the people of Nyandarua, a lot of who are here. But on the other hand, just step off for a moment. And I said, I will be back. Did you hear me? Importantly, I share a happy ending. I have reinvented myself. I have therefore demonstrated there are countless number of opportunities for leaders out here. I am now a leadership and emotional intelligence coach, and this is my brand. We call ourselves Reimagine Impact Associates because I'd love every leader to be able to reimagine the impact that they're delivering for anybody that they serve. Ready to move. I dedicated this book to my mother, lovely mother, and I hope wherever she is, she's able to participate virtually with us because of the values she inculcated in me and my siblings. But one that stands out that I learned from her is that humility always wins. Now, I also dedicated this book to my husband, Casey, and our children for their unwavering support and the trust that I have enjoyed over the years. It's normally not normal to balance and do the kind of things that we've done and still be on your feet. I will have fulfilled the objectives of writing memoirs, ladies and gentlemen, if these 3 things happen. 1, if I inspire one more leader in government, especially to do the right thing, to serve Kenyans selflessly, empathetically, effectively, and to utilize public resources prudently. After all, serving the public is not a favor, it's a call. It's a privilege. Number 2, if by sharing my story, leaders in the public sector especially appreciate the depth of the personal sacrifices that one has to make in the service of the public. I will have fulfilled the objectives if, through this book, only one more politician will be reminded on the effect that bad politics has on innocent families. And then the next attempt to impeach a minister or a senior official who is doing their job on flimsy grounds may be a thing of the past. How I pray that that is the environment you are going to be in. And finally, if like me, you don't want to be reduced by the limits of others telling your story, and if my book will encourage you to take a pen and paper and begin writing your story, I will have fulfilled the objective for which we are here tonight. I want to conclude by acknowledging how lucky, however, I have been to have met many wonderful people who pushed me to where I am today. Some of you are seated here. I have mentioned some. I haven't mentioned some of you, but I do acknowledge and appreciate that a lot of you are here with us. I want to say thank you to all of you, and I want to pray that God blesses you and your families. Allow me to thank the people, the teams that made it possible for this book to come to fruition. One that doesn't belong to the team of Kiari Kamau is Liz. Liz Gitonga, you would be here, I think. Applaud. Dr. Liz Gitonga is a lady who dared to walk with me, attempting to gather my scattered thoughts, my intentions, and document the first draft for me and with me. I want to thank you, Liz. Allow me to thank again KK and your whole team and the publishers, Washira, Sharon, Henry, a wonderful team, back and forth, long nights. Last weekend, I'm not so sure that Washira, you even had a wink. I want to thank even those who stirred me to be so motivated to document this book. They since came back to me and apologized, and they said, you know, it was not their intention, but they didn't even know me because they were not able to measure what arrogance looks like, because that's one of the things I was accused about. So they came back one by one and they said, you know, we can't live with this, we are guilty, as charged. And, you know, it was a political game, but it had gone really very bad. So I want to thank them, because if they didn't push me so very hard, perhaps, like my former boss, Kirwa, I would still be thinking, do I write? Do I not write? But it pained me, I had to write. I want to thank my family, I want to thank my friends, I want to thank my associates. Importantly, I really want to thank those people that I have served with. You held together. I led a team that was willing to be led, and therefore the achievements I speak about are not my achievements in the book. They are because you were. I am joined this evening by wonderful teams, and MC, when you come to speak, I'd like you to recognize and give the chairman of the alumni that I belong to of Kangaroo. There were in Form 6, but I was in Form 7. They are represented here. There are a couple of them with their chairman, Mudhuri, and I would like them to just have a word. I am also joined by a wonderful team of the guys who we went with to the university, BCom students, the 2 streams. Again, here, a big team, and the chairman would get a chance to make a few remarks. And they are here because I don't know, when you hear Kiari saying that I graduated with 2 items, a paper and fears, I don't know what you think. I don't know what he intended to say. But guys, you clearly know I didn't have much time for you. You clearly do, but we've remained being good friends, and I want to thank you because of that. Any part that I have been, we have people represented here, because wherever I have gone, I also believe in the spirit of making friends even as you make an impact. The T family is here in their numbers. The FPIC team is represented here in their numbers. The Ministries of Health, like I said, the Ministry of Public Service, the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation are all here. And besides that, my family, and I really, really want to appreciate you. Lois, if nobody appreciates you for paying my school fees, put it on record. I really do appreciate. I would not be standing here before you, being taller than you, and being louder than you. But you paid the school fees for me. I really want to thank you. I'll stop there and really, really appreciate you for your company. God bless you. God bless you.
A round of applause. Asante sana. Sorry, to the people who are online, you can check Reimagine Impact Associates, that is on YouTube. Reimagine Impact Associates, you can check on YouTube. Again, if you're on X, that is formerly Twitter, we are using the hashtag Breaking the Illusions. Just take a photo of the book and share, and then use the hashtag Breaking the Illusions. I'd also like to recognize the presence of Dr. Mercy Mwagangi, former CAS MOH. Let us appreciate her. She's here. And also I've seen other friends from Nyandarua County. Let us appreciate them as well. Tuwapige makofi mazuri. And for the scholars now, allow me to introduce Professor J.M. Mugambi from the University of Nairobi. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor J.M. Mugambi. Makofi mazuri tafadhali. Tumpigie makofi mazuri hadi kufika tafadhali. Welcome, sir. Yes.
I'm the one who holds the microphone. Good evening, all of you. Let's not get tired. This is a very special day, very unique day, not only for me, but for all of us. I'm not aware of an event of this kind. And so thank you very much, Sicily, for being a pioneer. I don't have a written speech because I have a foreword for this book. I want to whet your appetite because this book should not only be in the library, it should be in your own homes and perhaps shared with your family. It happens that Sicily is my first cousin. And, but this is not a family affair. It happens also that I am an author, and it happens also that my wish has been fulfilled by God's plan, because the most widely read, the most reputable of my books is actually published by East African educational publishers who are heirs of Heinemann. True or false? Well, we have a bone to pick with East African educational publishers. So what I'll do now is just read these few paragraphs, which Sicily asked me to write in appreciation. And if you are interested, then get a copy for yourself. It is with great pleasure and admiration that I express my commendation and appreciation of this unique and remarkable memoir titled Breaking Illusions, authored by the distinguished Honorable Sicily Kariuki. I did not put in brackets my cousin. Readers of this gem will accompany her on her extraordinary journey through the life of a unique leader. Her patriotic dedication to the Republic of Kenya and its people has made an indelible mark on the socio-economic landscape of Kenya. She has remarkably impacted this nation of Kenya in its development, especially the well-being of its citizens. Her career journey has been remarkable. I have several dots here. 1, from the helm of the Fresh Produce Exporters Association to the distinguished position of CEO at the Tea Board of Kenya, to Kenya's Agriculture Principal Secretary. Are you listening? Her subsequent rise to the crucial roles in this republic's water, sanitation, and irrigation cabinet secretary, health cabinet secretary, and also the cabinet secretary, public service, youth and gender affairs. All these roles by one person? Yes, Sicily, the author of this book. These roles in the public service of Kenya reflect her rare commitment in public service, unique and also truly remarkable. Sicily Kariuki has demonstrated her distinctive ability at navigating through the complex and multifaceted responsibilities across her various roles, which she has just described to us. Her leadership at the Tea Board of Kenya, such a crucial sector in the Kenya's agricultural landscape, demonstrated keen understanding of the intricate challenges facing the tea industry. Her tenure as Agriculture Principal Secretary demonstrated her dedication to a sustainable and productive agricultural sector. Throughout this captivating book, Sicily Kariuki shares her experiences on the intrigues and complexities of running ministries, especially so huge as the ones that she has led. She reminisces about times that she held leadership positions in the public service, youth and gender affairs, and all the others that she has outlined. This was at a time when Kenya was laying foundation for a more citizen-centered public service after adoption of the new constitutional order. In Breaking Illusions, that's the title she has selected and explained why. In Breaking Illusions, Sicily Kariuki describes her experiences at the forefront of Kenya's health sector, highlighting the vital role as the Health Cabinet Secretary, especially at the onset of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Her insights into the challenges faced by the the healthcare system, especially during the times of global uncertainty, provide a special perspective that will undoubtedly resonate with you, readers. Sicily Kariuki's book vividly outlines her unyielding passion for learning and continuous improvement, as well as sharing her experience with other leaders. In view of my acquaintance with Sicily Kariuki, since childhood, I said, first cousin, I have been impressed by her unyielding endeavors to challenge the status quo, and also her eagerness to engage with new ideas and experiences. It is great joy for me that she has included me among those to speak to you this evening. As we navigate the complexities of our interconnected world, Breaking Illusions will serve both as a chronicle of Sicily Kariuki and her extraordinary life, but also as an inspiring testament about the power of resilience, of dedication, of discipline, and of commitment to public service. It is her strong dedication to serving the ordinary people that led her to resign from the cabinet, abandoning the trappings of power to seek an elective position of governor of Nyandarua County. My wish, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, potential authors and distinguished readers of this autobiography, my wish and hope is that readers will find this book useful and enriching and also enlightening, as I have done myself, and that it will inspire future leaders to follow in the footsteps of this remarkable leader with deep roots in this great continent of Africa, in this great nation of Kenya, our home, the cradle of humankind. I say this not to boast, because we have no reason to boast. We did not ask God that we are born in Africa. It happens that the oldest stone cemetery on record is in Kenya, not in our part of Kenya, but in a place which we call Dry. In those days, when they were living there and planning to bury their dead in stone 50,000 years ago in our country, that was God's doing. Thank you, and congratulations, Sicily. Let us give a clap to Sicily and appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Here's my copy.
He has his copy. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali pia. So you can get your copy from that table. We have the hardcover and the soft cover. You can also get a signed book by the author, Sicily Kariuki. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite Honorable Kipruto Arap Kirwa. Makofi mazuri. Tumpigie makofi. Former boss to the author. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Yes, good evening. As you realize, I did not carry written speech because Sicily, when she was my officer, they told me a manner of going to a function and you find some talking points. And those talking points assisted me to be guided on what I would say, because politicians, when they get into a crowd, they get excited and make promises which are not within the policy framework. So for them to keep me within policy framework, they used to prepare notes for me so that despite the promises that people give me, I still maintain policy consideration, financial constraints, and realities in the Ministry of Agriculture at that particular time. I'm happy to see my sister, Lina Chebi Kilimo, has already joined us. And I'm also happy to see Njeru Ndwiga, the man who told me something when we were in government that I'll say in a few minutes. I'm also happy to see the man who has been in the three arms of government. He has been in the judiciary, legislature, now in the executive, Justin Muturi, coming from the same place as Sicily. I think Embu has something interesting to know. I'll come back to Embu because I know Mheshimiwa Ndwiga's farm, and I know the home of Sicily because we did Arambe in one of the churches around the place. Allow me to say this, that the spirit of writing is not easy. I left the ministry almost 20 years ago. I've been thinking of writing, and when I'm about to write, I get lazy because I have not had somebody like Lily to guide me. When I look for Ndwiga, he gives me some other stuff that does not encourage book writing. So I'm looking for that person to guide me, to write about my experience in the ministry, and also to write my experience out of politics and surviving in this town and refusing to go home. Because that's also an experience that people need to know, because many of you may not know that. Professor Kobia is lucky. She was in academia, she came to politics. I'm sure she has gone back there. So going home is not an option for her in the intervening period. I knew Lois Njeru before Sicily. I knew her because she was my officer in the ministry under Coffee Research Foundation in Ruiru. And one of the presentations that we are doing at Kari, now called Calro, her CEO, Dr. Kimemia, for some reasons, he was not able to turn up because our habit in the ministry was for every CEO to make a presentation as a way of building a family within the Ministry of Agriculture at that particular time. So Lois, in the evening, she was given opportunity. I reluctantly accepted her to present because I was saying, if it's not the CEO, how can I allow an officer below the office, and yet I'm here as a minister? Also, what compounded my problem, Lois has a smaller stature, my height, but smaller than me in terms of expanding horizontally. But I decided to listen out of being gender sensitive. I know for you, that is your ministry. Still your ministry. You know, like once you are in a ministry, you are always in that ministry. I don't miss the ministry, but I miss the officers that we work together. So after presentation that particular evening, Lois will remember, I said it is good to take children to school. And I made sure all my daughters are graduates and even pay their fees for postgraduate even after they get married. Wherever they go, I believe I'm still their father. Well, I'm not superimposing myself on the role of their spouses, but I think it's good manners to complete what you started. Sicily, I knew her when I went to Nyandarua. She was an officer from the private sector, and as was the case for us, used to do field days for purposes of encouraging the farmers. And here is a lady. She receives us in Nyandarua. And after the presentation, I come back to Nairobi. And the job is advertised. She had my number, but she didn't call me. The names were brought. Usually, during our time, I don't know what's happening now, 7 names are shortlisted by a firm of consultants. And those 7 are given to the board, and the board will give 3 names to the minister for the minister to make a choice. So subsequently, 3 names arrived. One was Sicily, and the other one was Dr. So-and-so, I don't want to name people who are not here, who was 49 years and with PhD, and he was a researcher. And another one, I can't remember very well because it didn't create an impression in me. Then I look at this young lady, under 40. You remember she said she was under 40, so I'm not trying to create a story. This guy is 49. She's under 40. And they are performing at par. I told the team, and I'm sure I was told one of them is here, that this lady, when she's 45, she will be the boss of these other guys. And that is how I appointed her, the first CEO in my tenure, coming from private sector to the government, a story she has told in the book. And when I left the ministry after losing 2007 elections, she was PS Agriculture, much later. And one of the guys was a CEO within the Ministry of Agriculture, which means she was the boss of the guy who was among the 3 with so many names. And the 3 names that landed on the minister's desk, Lois Njeru was one of them. And remember, they don't have similar names. One is Lois Njeru, the other one is Sicily Kariuki. One is tall, one is my height. But Sicily never called me. Remember, she was already a CEO in T-Board of Kenya. She never called me that, oh, my sister is one of them. And Lois did not have my number, or she got scared of calling me because I was a serious guy those days. So she was appointed because they were telling me there were errors in something. A lot of arithmetic. I told them, let me see the names of the board members who interviewed her after the 7. Let me see the results of the 7 individuals, how they performed. Among the 7, she was number 1. Among the 3, she was number 2. I say the average of 1 and 2 is 1.5. And then you go for the digit that makes sense because there is no 1.5 individuals. So that is the story of myself and the Sicily family. Okay. I don't think I have much to say. The only thing that I know, remember Sicily, the CEO of EAP, said I was one of those people to arrive early. I said because I used to force her to arrive early, I'm forcing myself to arrive early in a function. That's why I came early, because I said I cannot preach what I don't drink. Ndwiga knows that. The second thing I want to say is that in a ministry, you succeed by creating teams. Because I'm talking to those who are in government today, those who may get back to government tomorrow, and I can assure you politicians die many times. Like Justin Muturi has died and arose recently. So he's still in town. So what I want to emphasize is teamwork. I'm privileged that in the ministry that we served with Sicily and others. we had a serious team spirit that every Tuesday, we had a team of 5 of us, the PS at that time, Director of Agriculture and the 2 assistant ministers, and myself as the chair, to share responsibilities, who is going for field day, who is answering questions in parliament, who is going for a trip abroad, so that my assistant ministers don't feel that the minister is just dominating the work in the ministry. It gives you better results. And my sister Lina Chebi Kilimo knows in the first performance contracting, my ministry was #1. Not because of me, it's because of people like Sicily and many others who are not here. Something that I just want to remind you, when you're in government, there are so many intrigues, Sicily. Even during our time, people know Mzee Kibaki never wanted to interfere with the work of any ministry. And if for some reason your ministry had a problem, he would invite the minister, and the minister naturally goes with the PS and the managing director of that particular department under inquiry. And the minister will lead the way, the PS will provide technical advice, and the managing director will give details. It works better when you do that. But human beings, because they are always busy creating trouble, when they realize you're about to succeed, they create trouble for you. And one time, I rang the Honorable Ndwiga, and I was very annoyed. And you know, when I get annoyed, I don't know why. I lose temper, and I've been told short people, when they lose temper, they lose it well. So I lost my temper, and I told Ndwiga, did we form government to do this? He told me, what is happening? 1, 2, 3 is happening. Then he told me, okay, have you asked the boss? I told him, no, I don't need to ask him. I'm already sufficiently annoyed. Okay, he told me, ask him first, then we talk. Of course, I went, I saw the president presenting a different issue and reading the body language. I realized the president was not even aware of the intrigues. Then I called the Honorable Ndwiga again. I told him, no, the president is very happy with my work. He told me those individuals that you are scared of are people we call make-believe. They create an impression they are the ones in charge of the government, and they call themselves deep state. And there's no deep state. The state is the president and those who have been given those positions. But some other guys hang around. They go to State House after a cup of tea, anasema tumemaliza hii na mzee, hii maneno lazima iende hivi. We were just informing you as a by the way. Only to realize that some of those guys are make-believe. They suffer the consequences you suffer as a minister, because after all, they are your colleagues. So Sicily, when you are reading about your frustrations, I knew you are dealing with some of the people called make-believe. And that is a serious problem. My recommendation and my request to us here assembled is that as a society, we need to do social re-engineering. We have destroyed the very fabric of our nation. We have made achievement look like it is a crime. And getting something without an effort, we have worshipped it. Because today, we value what somebody has, but we don't value the means he has used to achieve that. It is therefore an imperative that all of us must value and do social re-engineering as a nation, as a way of getting back to where the rain started beating us up. We must also have national discourse. It is no longer time to say this regime, the other regime. It is national discourse, because all of us are to blame for not doing what ought to be done. And if I continue beyond this, I'll be making a statement that is against the etiquette of such a protocol. What I want to say, Sicily, you have even led me now. Because you are ahead of me, you have written your memoirs. I was your boss. Now you are my boss because you have led the way. And I request the Honorable Ndwiga, we need to meet once in a while. We write our memoirs. You know, for you, you've traveled the same distance, minister, MP, opposition, government, senator. Now you are back to where we are. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kipruto Arap Kirwa. There were 2 or 3 requests from Honorable Sicily Kariuki. There's an alumni from Kangaroo. From wherever you are, please give him the microphone to save on time. We are being just come. Let's save on time as well. Let us appreciate the chairman. Save on time.
Thank you. Lokwaro. Thank you. Let me have the 2 ladies come here, please. I'll be very brief. JB, my friend, here I am. Mheshimiwa Kito. Yes. I have been requested by, we call her the CS, Sicily, to introduce a wonderful group of alumni, Kangaroo School, where we went together. They are representing another group, a group called 85 group. We were classmates in Kangaroo School. I have Rita Waome, immediate director, TSC staffing. Nancy Macharia, she's an economist in Treasury. Lokwaro, I believe, is the head of Inoro News. And we have Karen Kadie, she's a very senior economist and I think a director of Safaricom. This is the group that is representing the team that was with Sicily in Kangaroo School. Thank you very much. May I say this very briefly? Great respect to 3 politicians I worked with together. Jaru Dwega, Minister for Cooperatives by then. JB Muturi, we were in Kanu together. Kipruto Kirwa, our Minister for Agriculture and politician I know very well. My name is Muduri Nyamo. I met the C, I call her the CS. We met in Kangaroo those years when she came to Kangaroo. We parted a bit, then we met again after graduation because I went to a different university. And I knew her when she was an officer at Investments Corporation. That was a very long time ago. Then I was appointed Deputy Managing Director, KBC. I worked there. Then when I left KBC, I joined her again as a communications officer at the Fresh Produce Exporters of Kenya. When you say, Mheshimiwa, you appointed her the CEO T-Board, I was with her that day, and I'm the one who broke the news to the public because she had told me you and assured her you are going to put the name in a Kenyan Gazette. And she told me, just go ahead. I told her things change. I've seen things change. But she told me it was already there. 20 years later, I caught up with her. And because of the friendship we had and working relationship which we had together, she appointed me as an advisor to her office in the Ministry of Water and Sanitation. I served for a year with her as advisor, public communications and PR. During that time, I want to say this. There's something she has said about herself. I noted she had changed a lot from the time I worked with her in the 90s. One day in her office, I went and told her, Madam CS, do you really want to go to politics in Nyandarua? She told me yes. I told her I've worked with the politicians for a long time. There are political intrigues, lies, cheats, and backstabbing. Are you ready for it? She stood up, walked out and told me, Muduri, I'm prepared. Let it be. I think she experienced a bit of some what we had discussed that evening. I want to say this. On behalf of the Kangaroo 85 group, We are very proud of her. Most of them say they don't even remember in school. So when she was appointed the cabinet minister, many were asking, were we with her? Did we see her? For 4? They were? Or she was with us for 4 months. I think that's why we couldn't remember. Most of them couldn't remember her. Because as she said, she came in Form 7 as she's in Kagaru. So we are very proud of her. The group associates itself with your success and the milestones you have recorded in public service. Oh, I forgot to introduce somebody else before I leave. Oh, have I introduced you, Karen? Okay. We associate with your success, with your mission and vision, and we know as a group we have not seen the rest of you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. You have left your things. Chairman, your things are here.
No, I'm to be called the chairman, but I haven't said that I'm the chairman of the 84-85 group, and we work together with the CS. Thank you.
Thank you. There is your pen. Your pen is here. Tumpigie makofi mazuri. Please come forward, gentlemen, for one sentence, if you can, for the interest of time. Yes. Very short. Let me fix this for you for the camera.
I think I'll be very short, like my height. I know my friend Honorable Kirwa is as height challenged as myself. He talked about temper. Unfortunately, I don't have one because I've learned from Sicily about emotional intelligence. So I really stand here. I stand here before you. My name is Stevie Saboke. I represent the class of PCOM 1990, where the Honorable Sicily Kariuki was actually our comrade. And just before I say anything, we've got a number of my colleagues here, starting with the Honorable Gishuki Mugambi, former MP for Othaya, and the rest of you, please, if you can just show face. I know, Kings, you didn't want to, but just show face so the CS can see that colleagues from down in the 90s actually stood with her. Just a bit, yeah. Honorable Gishuki, just if you guys can, so people can see you, it will be quick. You never know, it might be good for you for your re-election in Othaya, Mheshimiwa Gishuki. You still need to have your face. So very quickly, we've got Pam Hayasi. She's an alumni of PCOM 90. Honorable Gishuki, when I mentioned your name, maybe raise your hand, you're still a student. Pam. Honorable Gishuki Mugambi, my friend, former MP for Othaya. Karen Kandie. She is in Treasury still. She was introduced. She actually now doubles up. She was in the other group. And then now the alumni. Karen, you can raise your hand. Luisa Komen. She works for Kenya Commercial Bank. Pakris Nyaga, one of the colleagues. And the one and only director, he is my director at Karen Country Club, Mike Kingori. We call him Kings. And then last but not least, Josephine Ngotho. She's a colleague at the PCOM. Thank you, good people. Thank you. Oh, she's here. Let me join in.
You can join in. Thank you very much. Asante. Tuwapigie makofi mazuri.
So I know the MC gagged me, and I know the honorable guest of honors have spoken, so I really wouldn't go much, and all protocols observed. Just 2 things about Sicily. So, Bwana Kariuki, the boss after 6, I should call you. We actually saw her when she was a girl. I still think she is. The one thing now we have learned, the secret we've learned, she was so focused, so undistracted. We now know someone had stolen her heart, taken care of her, so she was completely focused on her studies. Congratulations, the lucky man. So she was as focused as she is a minister she was, when she was actually in the PCOM class, down in the late 80s and 90s. Just to say this, and Mheshimiwa Kiro, you actually said it. We came from the group that was basically breaking the mold. You remember we had the double intake class. We all came from that rural background that she spoke about, also mentioning Mheshimiwa Muturia and the rest. barefoot and everything. And I think we've seen Sicily actually break the glass ceiling completely, and breaking it not just as a lady, but as age group. So on behalf of the PCOM 90, and many of them are listening online, we congratulate you for putting your story, on book. And like you said, I think your story is not over. Sicily, and we've been interacting a lot, especially now that you've got time on your side and reflecting. I think your story is not over. You're going to be people's boss again at some stage, and we pray for you. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Tumpigie makofi pia. Asante sana. So I'd like to invite former CAS Water, who worked closely with Madam CS. Tumpigie makofi mazuri. Daktari pia kija. Very brief.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to say because the book seems to say it all. But I had a privilege to work with Honorable Sicily Kariuki, first of all in the Ministry of Agriculture, when I was the CEO of Agricultural Development Corporation, and then subsequently when she came to water, as the CAS for water, sanitation and irrigation. And some of the colleagues in the Ministry of Health told me, are you sure you can work with Sicily? I said, why? Mingumu sana, and that's part of the illusions. So we worked very well together. And let me tell you, some of the many, many projects in the Ministry of Water now, numbering over 600, came through Honorable Sicily Kariuki when she started the Rapid Results Initiative that really fast-tracked so many of those projects that you can now see all over the country. And really, congratulations to you, Sicily, for the good work you did. So I really wish you well. I'll read your book. You have made me also feel like writing a book. Mine is even going to be more interesting because Honorable Sicily didn't know that I stood for elections one day in Kanu when Kipruto Kirwa was in NAC. And many people asked me, but you don't look like a politician. You look shy, but deep waters run what? Still waters run deep. So thank you so much, and may God bless all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Bwana CS. CS Health, we all remember her from COVID. Fellow Kenyans, please come and say a word. Tumpigie makofi mazuri, tafadhali. Mwangangi.
It's been a while since I held a microphone, fellow Kenyans. I am just going to say that I'm especially proud of Waziri Sicily Kariuki. She said it when she made her speech, I am because she is. Many of you may not know, but part of my journey, and a huge part of my journey, I worked with Sicily Kariuki, who has been my mentor. And I have some esteemed mentees in the room who I really don't want to leave out. I want them to stand where they are. Prof. Baraza, who is the director of Kemri Wellcome Trust, is in the room. Again, another mentee of Sicily Kariuki, Lois, who leads our cancer program in Kenya. She's in the room. Somewhere back there, she needs to stand up. And thank you so much for mentoring us and for being our mother. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would like to invite CAS Gender as well. Yes. Honorable Dr. Jabilina Kilimo. Tumpigie makofi. That caught you as a surprise.
Thank you very much, our guest of honor, my boss, Sicily, and my sister, all protocols observed. I've worked with her as my boss, but she didn't treat me like somebody who is junior to her. In 2013, when I postponed, and it has been postponed forever, winning elections, I was told to eat the cake that I had baked. That is the anti-FGM law. So I was told to start the anti-FGM board. As the only person, you're the first employee, everything, nothing, you just have to know how to navigate and have it there. And I was so encouraged to find a mother in her. first of all, you've lost election, so you feel now, and then after that, you're given something, you don't know where to start, but you know FGM must, and you know the end, but to reach there, you have to navigate your way through the mess. And I was privileged to serve under her as we worked to get into its feet the anti-FGM board. Yeah, getting organogram, you're supposed strategy. I don't know, you have to draw so many things, and I'm so glad that you were there for me at that particular time as we gave birth to the anti-FGM board that is now a parastatal in our country. She'll always tell me, my sister. Can you imagine your boss calling you your sister? How will you act? And so that is Sicily for you. And of course, we discussed a few times about a book when she called me and told me about it. It's a path most of us have walked. I came from an area with Honorable Kirwa over here, where he was my mentor. He was holding my hand to navigate the political space. And it's not easy, because you always feel you are coming from the opposition side. Everybody thinks you are in the opposition, and then you find, cool waters, somebody telling you, my sister, let us do this. Thank you so much. It's not a surprise that you've mentored CAS over here and many others. Continue even mentoring people to write books. I have not thought of writing a book, but I'm sure it will be also very interesting. Thank you very much. Let's enjoy the evening. Oh, and together, let us end FGM.
So Ms. Mwangi from T. Ms. Mwangi. Is she with us? Ms. Mwangi, acha tumpigie makofi mazuri. We are about to end this session, and then we'll do the unveiling of the book. Tumpigie makofi one more time.
Good evening. All protocols observed. I am here on invitation from my boss, Honorable Sicily Kariuki, and we feel very proud of you that you have walked that journey and triumphed, and most importantly, you've put it as a record for future reference, for current and future reference, and to inspire even more people. On behalf of the Tea fraternity, I can see Nelly. Nelly, raise your hand. Patricia. Anyone else from Tea? Okay. Yeah. So I would like to say something about Sicily. She was my boss at Tea Board of Kenya. And I was holding the fort before she came. I acted for about 8 months. But when she came for the interview, and I was also an interviewee, when I looked at her and the way she was so smart, very confident, and now, because we had met before, she told me, Frecia, how is this place? And I said, now, how can she be asking me? And I'm also vying, But I knew somehow that she would get it, because she was very, very confident. And I was happy to work with her. I'm sure many people asked me, Frecia, what are you still doing there? And, you now have a new boss, and you are acting. I said, I think I want to work with this lady because she's very inspiring, she's knowledgeable, and I don't regret that I did not take off. Rather, I served under you, and you showed me so many things that I didn't know. You give me opportunities that I'll forever be grateful. And I want to say that I have followed you And every step you take, you always know that I chip in to give my opinion. Even on your journey to Nyandarua, you know that we are all together. You can count me in as your perpetual supporter. I would like to call on all of us. You have heard her express her wish to continue on the upward trajectory, and therefore the next level she's going to, and let us learn from our seniors. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Njero Ndwega, for brief remarks. Mheshimiwa Njero Ndwega is here, is a farmer as well. Let us appreciate him. Na makofi mazuri pia. Very brief.
Yes, thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I am a farmer, but that's not why I am here. I am not here because I am a farmer. I am here because we want to celebrate my aunt. You know, Sicily is my aunt. And when I say that, in very many places, people say, Ati, who is supposed to be who? And I've said Professor Mugambi. Where are you, Professor Mugambi? Oh, Professor Mugambi, the one who talked to us here. Remember him saying that he is first cousin of Sicily. Now my first son is called Mugambi. Kwa hivyo wao ndio nimesaa, wale wanajua vile tunazaana. Rutiso, how we name people. So Mugambi is also my uncle. Yeah, it's also my uncle. So we are here anyway. That's by the way. So we are here to celebrate this great work of do I say my cousin? my auntie. My aunt. Yeah, the great work of my aunt. And it is true, in government, once you work in government, when you go through this journey, this thing should be documented. You know, sometimes at night I wake up and remember things of 1992. I say, you know, this thing happened. And people will never know what happened. Because perhaps you are the only one who was there. Yes. So these things ought to be documented. But like Honorable Kirwa said, when we start writing, other things happen along the way. And I've started writing my own kitabu. At one time I went up to page 10. Then other things happened. But now, if your aunt can write books, why not you? So now I am going back, now I'm challenged. Now I'm going beyond page 10 and get somewhere. Now in the interest of time, we want to, again, thank you very much for all of you coming. Na asanteni sana.
Thank you, Professor Margaret Kobia. Please, tumpigie makofi akija for her remarks as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Family of my sister, Honorable Sicily Kariuki, J.B. Muturi, Attorney General, all protocols of the interest of time. I just came to say congratulations to my friend and a colleague. She has been my professional colleague and a friend for many, many years. So to start with, I just want to say you have done a great job. Research tells us only 15% of women in senior positions are mentoring. But with a book like this, Honorable Sicily, many young women have an opportunity. They may not reach you, but here is a book. So can we give her a clap for that? This is our legacy. You know, we are all reminded, whatever we have, whatever we own, the position we have reached, one day they'll come to pass. And it's only God who allows us to reach that position. But this book always, so it's a great legacy. I must also say, why did I come? Because not every invitation you honor, but I had to honor this one. I met Sicily when she was the MD team board, and I was at Kenya School of Government as the CEO, and we realized it's so difficult leading in state corporation when you are a woman. There are those challenges which they are not easy to just to solve. Sometimes you cannot place a finger. Why? But there is a price to pay. We always say that. There is a price to pay for any woman who tries to provide leadership, especially, and not only in Kenya, Africa, world over. There's a price to pay. You meet those patriarchal kind of barriers. You need access to education. You need access to health, and all those. So when we met, we realized we needed to form a small group of women CEO in Kenya State Corporation. It was such a great source of encouragement where you could share views. And I remember me and Sicily used to share views regarding how our boards are treating us. You know how you get to a board and the board may be, if you have not given the proper induction, they think they have been appointed by the president, and for that reason, they should treat them at the level of a cabinet minister. Therefore, when we had these discussions, we would encourage one another, and I think it is still very important as a woman leader to have some network where you can share views, can be encouraged, and you also will encourage others. I also, when she moved to be a PS, I also moved to Public Service Commission, and just after 2 years, he was appointed now the Minister of Public Service. And there is always a struggle between the Ministry of Public Service and Public Service Commission. And my officers will tell me, you see, the ministry want to do this policy, but that is the role of Public Service Commission. Let me say, because of the relationship we had with the Sicily, we never disagreed with Sicily. We worked very well. We knew if you want any policy to work in government, especially if you are in public service ministry, you needed to consult the Public Service Commission. We need to consult with the head of public service. So before a circular goes out, we would do that, and it worked for us. Therefore, as we even moved to work in the cabinet, we are strong believers of our policy, and the policy that is participatory, is inclusive, so that nothing would go wrong if there's a policy. But if there's no policy, there will be questions left, right, center, and then at the end of it, you end up making a great mistake in the public service. Therefore, thank you very much for calling us back here. I've met a lot of public servants present here today. Let's continue making public service stronger, because we know there's no government that is stronger than the public service. Research, I'm very happy to see my cast. We worked very well. We had 5 cases, and because they were all very good and we always used to operate from a table, everything worked well for us. I'm not saying there are no challenges, there are challenges, and every generation, every government has its own challenges, but they are the same one who can find solutions to those challenges. I wish you well. Thank you.
So when Honorable Sicily Kariuki decided to go to Nyandarua County to vie for the governor's seat, there was this gentleman who would tell her ground iko hivi, ground iko hivi. And of course, we will invite him one of these days to tell the story. But I am sure Mr. Mwangi is here. There are several here, but I know Mr. Mwangi. Mr. Mwangi, are you with us? Mr. Mwangi, please come forward. Mr. Mwangi. Mr. Mwangi is here. Let us appreciate Mr. Mwangi.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Attorney General, the CS, Sicily Kariuki, all protocols observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am not Mwangi Geshoki. Mwangi Geshoki is there with me, but he's donated this time for me to just say a few words. My name is Deri Deani. And I joined Sicily Kariuki together with my friend Mercy as an advisor in the Ministry of Health. At first, I was the legal advisor, legal and policy advisor. And I think I have had interactive moments with her at a personal level. And before I proceed to say what I want to say, I have my fellow advisors who we left with at the Ministry of Water. I can see Mwagi Eshoke. You can wave the crowd. Mwagi Eshoke is now the MCA for Engineer Ward in Nyandarua County. And then we have Judy Wawero, also who served as an advisor. She's now the chief officer in Kiambu County. Now for me, I think I have a few reflections. The first reflection I want to make, when I went to the Ministry of Health, I think I had come from Nyandarua County, where I had worked as a clerk. I was working as a clerk to the county assembly. And I can see my boss, Speaker Dego Wahome. You will still say something, I believe. And I can also see another person from Nyandarua. The speaker for Nyandarua, the current speaker, was also here. Please, where is he? Waiganjo. Pigia makofi pia yuko area. Asante sana. Now, I found a person who was so focused in her work that I became really amazed. And she did mention one thing that is still stuck in my mind, and this was a quagmire we were dealing with to do with the reforms of NHIF, which we spent a lot of long hours. And what was actually intriguing is the fact that anytime we would meet, she wanted to know exactly what are the policy positions that you're proposing to take in ensuring that we transform NHIF to be a deliverer of UHC in the country. So you could see a lot of passion, a person who was ready and willing to deliver great services to this country. And the commitment I saw in her, has remained with me. And I think given a chance, I would replicate a lot of work that Sicily Kariuki has actually done for this country, and with the passion that she has done. I remember many times, because we have gone with her in thick and thin, and the many times I could see her, struggle with the mess. You remember the mess equipment? The many times we were summoned by the pick and pack in the Senate, and the number of documents I would carry as a legal advisor, and the kind of turmoil I would see her pass through, the questions that were being passed, things that you didn't do, but you are expected to answer, and answer correctly. It's never easy to be in the public service. So I think I've seen someone who is very strategic in her thinking. She's very strategic in her leadership. And I remember when we went to the Ministry of Water, and I think the CAS has mentioned, is that we looked at the ministry and the number of projects in that ministry. There were about 600. Most of them had been forgotten. But she had to bring all the stakeholders together for them every other fortnight to explain how far those projects had gone. And it was not easy for CEOs to explain, because anytime they would bring flimsy excuses, they would face it very rough. But rough when the CS wants to achieve something for Kenyans. So, and another thing is that, and she has written the book when I was going through, even me as the legal advisor, when I went to advise her on serious legal matters, she would turn me 360. I'd given an advice, and I'm a lawyer. She's not a lawyer, but she would challenge me. Her thinking is quite good, and I think one of the reasons why we became friends is because somehow I like also people who are serious and people who want to go deep into issues. That is why I think we are great friends, because I also love your brain, is a good brain for that matter. Now, we went to Nyandarua, and I think we kept on asking ourselves, do we go for MP or do we go for governor? Me and Geshoke kept advising her, I think you can try or Kalau constituency. And we had a lot of strategies on it. We did a lot of work down there, trying to consolidate the ground. But she surprised us and told us, now you have to sit down, gentlemen, and think about how then do we approach gubernatorial position, because she felt, and we also shared that thought, that we needed to change the leadership at the grassroots level in Nyandarua to ensure that the people of Nyandarua can truly get a leadership that they deserve, and a leadership that can actually deliver serious services to them without those ukora mingi na corruption mingi na maneno kama hiyo, kwa sababu amesema yeye mwenyewe. So we went. One of the most difficult things, I have never been elected as a politician, but I have been involved in serious grassroots politics. One of the things that we had to do is to actually try to mold her. Mwangi Geshoke is a politician. We were trying to mold her to, come to the level, coming from the cabinet secretary now to the level of a politician, where you have to go shina Kenny Jeshi. Have you heard that one? Jeff Kuria will know that there is a saying in our land, vijana watakuja waseme, hey, Sicily, hey, mheshimiwa, nonginyo shina jeshi Kenny. That means you have to buy them some, mheshimiwa can actually understand. You have to buy them something so that they can vote for you. It was not easy for her to say, I want to give a few shillings for these young men to enjoy themselves. It was not easy. But we had to tell her now, sasa lazima tuingie mashinani, lazima ukae hivi na hivi, lazima ujog kidogo na mama huko, lazima uigiane na vijana. Ilikuwa ngumu, si kitu chache, but I can tell you, the same focus that she has in the delivery of services to Kenyans, it is the same focus that she brought in her campaigns. We used to do meetings, tulikuwa tunafunga saa about 11 in the evening. Then we sit to analyze what we have done, where the gaps are, and I can tell you, in a few months, her name had gone to every nook and cranny of the county. It was a household name in a span of few minutes. But as fate would have it, it's never easy in politics. One time I was seated, there was a lot of delay in announcing this kind of negotiated politics that was brought by Mheshimiwa Kioni. I don't want to go into that, but it's very painful even today that people can sit somewhere and say that the popularity that Sicily Kariuki had in Nyandarua was superficial. They used to say it was superficial, but even today the people still yearn for her leadership. So the choice of political party, Kuria, if you allow, I remember, and she can attest, that I went to her office and told her, I don't think Jubilee would be, I think that is why you paid the price of royalty. Because I told her that Jubilee Party will not win. It will be very unpopular on the ground. And then she was a bit, that royalty thing. And then she told me, no, if Dosi aingie huko aseme maneno kadha. Nikamwambia hata akikuja huko aseme nini? Watu amekata. Anyway, from our discussions after that, because every mistake or everything that happens to you, you must learn lessons. From our lessons today, we say that politics is very selfish. All right? Don't allow yourself to be swimming against the tide. Sometimes, even when you... Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you very much. We have two speakers. One is Speaker Nyandarua County. Please come forward and make your remarks. And then we'll have one more. Then, of course, we'll do the book unveiling. Karibu.
Asante. The chief guest, allow me to adopt the protocol as it has been laid out. My name is Wachira Waiganjo, currently serving as a speaker, Nyandarua County Assembly. May I say that I have not had an opportunity to work with Honorable Sicily. However, I've had an opportunity to associate with her, and by extension, to associate with people who have worked with her. I've followed her as a life coach, and one of the things that I can say, Honorable Sicily, is that indeed the future is extremely bright. I work closely with Honorable Mwangi Geshoke, who is my member of the County Assembly. And every time you are doing a document, he'll always tell me, I learned this in Sicily. Let us put comma, communication should come this way. He has really inspired us. So I wish I would have got an opportunity to be coached and mentored by her, but I've been following your documentaries and by extension associating with people who have been working with you. I wish to encourage you, keep the same pace. I also wish to state that this country belongs to us. This country belongs to us. And not unless we make a bold step and step forward and take these leadership positions. Nobody else will do it for us. I appreciate our seniors. You have done your job. Edzi, you have done your job. For we as young advocates, it is our time now to come and do what you can do. Whatever you have done, we will not let you down. And for all young leaders and aspiring politicians who are here, msiogope. Twende kwa ground, ndugu zetu wametuongoza, wamefanya yote wamefanya. And I like what, is it Honorable Njeru Duiga has said. Some of these things need to be documented because we can only learn them in document. When I followed the CEO of East African Publisher, when he was stipulating the issues that are on this book, he has explained the story of Honorable Sicily from grace, they say from grass to grace. Meaning, we can quote the Maradona that no human is limited. So let us wake up, young politician, young aspiring politician, young people with vision ya kuongoza. These are our elder sisters, and definitely by virtue that they are older than us, they retire before us. So they leave the mantle to us. Tuchangamke, tuendeleze Kenya mbele. Asanteni sana. God bless you. Nyandarua tuko sawa. Karibu sana Nyandarua mheshimiwa. Tuendelee. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Madam Sicily Kariuki, please come back here so that you can invite the Attorney General. Let us appreciate Honorable Sicily Kariuki one more time. So, do you want? Okay. All right. Former Speaker Nyandarua County, Wahome, Ndego Wahome, please come forward and say a few remarks. Tumpigie makofi pia.
Thank you, Jeff. All protocols observed. I am humbled for this opportunity. And thank you, Attorney General, for gracing the occasion. And for Sicily, what you have done is a milestone. It's a threshold action that you have done by writing this book, despite being very busy. And I will say that something I have noted with Sicily, because I knew her when she became the PS Agriculture, is the clarity of mind. Clarity of mind. She sees things with such clarity that not many things can see them the same way. The structured mind, very graduated mind, knows that it is from this level to the other level. Serious leadership space that she occupies. A serious inspiration for everybody who listens to her and how she is able to gel the chemistry with the ecosystem around her. So, Sicily, I know that the sky can never be the limit in you occupying the right space in the public service and in service to humanity. When Sicily, Dari Deani has not said that, when Sicily wanted a legal advisor, she asked me to propose to her. And I proposed to her one person who became a CAS and another person who is a very serious lawyer. But I told her I cannot give you Dari Deani, who was my crack then at the Nyandarua County Assembly. And as I'm saying about her focus on issues, she told me that one you cannot give me is the one I'm going to take. And that is what happened, that she took Dari Deani to become her advisor. Therefore, I also contested for governor in Nyandarua, but it is that situation where you say that I believe I am cut out to serve the people of Nyandarua. but that if I would miss it, seriously, Sicily coming in, you know that Nyandarua will move forward. Therefore, Sicily remain focused, continue serving the people, continue mentoring everybody because you have also been my mentor, and continue pushing the agenda to ensure that humanity can only be better. So thank you very much for even coming to support her. She is our girl from Nyandarua. She is our leader from Nyandarua. She is a serious person from Nyandarua, and we are proud to be associated with her. Asante sana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Speaker Emeritus. It is even raining because of those words. Did you hear? Yes. So, this book, distinguished guests and book lovers, is one that you are not going to find a lot of emotions. It is not a It is this space that we are occupying. And therefore, I do not believe for a minute that it is Jubilee, choice of Jubilee that messed us up. It wasn't. That is Mwangi Gishoke is sitting there. He's an MC on Jubilee. You have the gentleman who was in our team. He's a Jubilee MCA in Morongaro Ward in Nyandarua. We have another one in Jabine holding Jubilee. We have my own MP, Mheshimiwa Karaha on Jubilee. We have your own MP, Kwenya, holding a Jubilee. So it really wasn't. But if you read my speech, brief speech, which is in this document, there comes a time. There comes a time. And that time is coming. We've eaten into a lot of your time, but only with the permission of my big brother, our chief guest. But we are coming to the end. What was served as high tea is going to be low tea. So please don't leave before we take our low tea, because we've taken all the time here. Allow me also, in the interest of time, to say that please buy a book and for your friend or family, and go and tell a friend to tell late daughter Noni's foundation, Noni Kariuki Foundation, through which we've taken children to school that are from very vulnerable backgrounds, through which we have continued to empower women. To support that worthy cause. So if for any other reason, buy two, so that one comes to me in terms of the cost of meeting the cost of this very expensive, if we will, exercise, but also supporting a worthy cause in the community. Without further ado, and because we've been sitting for a very, very long time, if we stood up and just stretched, and just stretch. Now I'm exercising my responsibility as an emotional coach. And we are tempted to use the nostrils to breathe in, and we did it genuinely, with your hand on the diaphragm. And you breathe right in, don't release until I tell you go, let out, and the stomach goes out. It is now my distinguished and singular honor to invite our chief guest, who is going to help us with launching this book, the Honorable, the Attorney General of the Republic, former Mr. Speaker Sir, former Member of Parliament, former this and the other, the one who fails and then wakes up, and he has many, many lives. He's also my role model in politics. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I think we have had the occasion to stand long enough. Thank you, Sicily. Distinguished guests, I'm told there also some of you will be book lovers and other invited guests. Good evening. I want to start with a disclaimer because my good friend, some of you may have heard me call him some name. You may have thought that I was abusing him. I wasn't abusing him. That's how we call each other. The Honorable Kipruto Kirwa, we call each other Mteja. Mteja hapatikani. The invitation was that we were to start at 5:30. And I spoke to my sister at about 5. I told her, can I begin making my way? She told me, no, please, it doesn't look very good. We are very few. And you may sit here for too long. But she also did warn me that this terrible traffic jam, which is typical of Nairobi Fridays. So I did not come late because that I intended to be late or I was delayed by somebody. No, it's just because our author of Breaking the Illusions told me not to come at the time that had been appointed. I want to say that I actually did not know Sicily. The person that I know, who was my classmate, you have been making references to her, but I'm wondering where she is. Yeah, that Mteja, that Lois, Lois Njero. But when we were young in school, she was known as Lois Wanjira. Kanadagu. Let me also recognize the presence in our midst of a very special lady that, because she was mentioned as being present, I think I may be seeing her actually. Dr. Mary Kimulu. She's very special to me because there are not very many people living now who taught me when I was in Form 1. So I'm always very proud introducing my teacher in Form 1, Dr. Mary Kimulu. She's the one that Cecily spoke a lot about when she spoke about the issue of milk in the village. I know many of us have walked these similar journeys. We've gotten into politics. We've done a few other things. But one thing I want to confirm is that there can never be a better legacy one can leave behind than putting your life journey, your experiences, into a book. Reduce those experiences, high, middle, low-level moments, just record them. For instance, I can tell you a story, Sicily, just to encourage you. Although I think you have acquitted yourself of that. What the young lawyer who was your advisor spoke about the party. In the year 2002, as my very good elder brother would recall, I stuck with a party where we used to be with Mheshimiwa Kirwa here, ile chama ile. And the whole of that region where we come from, it was amazing. So when I would be, fueling my vehicles around Embu Town, And we couldn't. I'll tell my people, please don't play any music because we could easily be chased out of town. Then suddenly, you hear across Rupingasi some, something thundering, the throbbing of heavy music. And what is it saying? Yote yawezekana. Okay, hapo iko kwingine mtamaliza. So obviously, on hearing that, I would want to quickly exit the town. But God is great. Because that was there's a guy who is fond of giving us some stories. He calls such a move a tsunami. Actually, it was such a tsunami. But come on, God is great, Professor. God is great. We made it through. And I remember telling some of my friends, you know what? (2003). So I want to confirm with Sicily is not agree with Sicily that it's not really the choice of the party. You also, if you believe in something, you must stick to it. You must just move on. And you can always make changes whenever, hata ukiwa ndani ya hiyo gari. Si iko wakati tulisema, Mheshimiwa Kirwa tulisema ati tumemeza kitu alafu ikarudi kaleta tabu kwa tumbo, ndio wakati huo. So you can always cause a lot of discomfort even when you are inside. I want to just say I'm happy that Sicily has given us some somewhere to begin from. I started mine actually by the year 2021 and made up my mind that having served as speaker for 2 terms, I would never want to go back there. Part of the reason being now these young men and young girls, they are the ones who are in bunge. So I looked, my period as a speaker, I looked, there was too many young people. Mheshimiwa Gishuki can tell you. Sometimes you really have difficulties even relating with them. But now wako na lugha ingine. So I made up my mind that, no, I'm not going back there. In fact, my intention was, if nothing else was going to happen, I would rather just go and siniende nikalime tu. So even there, hata hiyo ni kujenga nchi. So wale wanalima kwani si ni binadamu kama mimi. So hata mimi nilikuwa nimesema afadhali nikafanya hiyo. Badala ya kurudi pale because I was a bit tired. Because when you have people who you tell them this today, and you call them even for seminars, workshops. Professor Kobe, you remember some of them would invite you to come and talk to them. And then sometimes you wonder now, even before you finish what you are telling them, you wonder, amesikia vile nimesema, what do you do with this one now? Now, if you start behaving too harshly, they also begin, they're saying, hapana, tutaleta ile kitu inaitwa impeachment. Ile Sicily alisema juu yake. Because today's member of parliament, Mheshimiwa Kirwa, I think maybe we put in too much money in CDF. They are no longer legislators. Actually, they become project managers. And I wonder where the issue, the very, very core function of legislation has gone to. Because other than listening to them when they're in committees saying this or the other, you listen to debate in plenary. The things that you used to do, you can't. Because this project, there is this one who is doing this road, we are doing that school. Remember how many bags of cement? Now, actually, that cannot be the work of a legislator. So it became, for me, it was untenable to continue working there. But that will be, that I will explain well in something that is going to come. In fact, I can tell you something. I went beyond the 10 pages that my brother talked about. You see, and Mheshimiwa Kirwa didn't say it, now began alive in the judiciary, into politics, as a member of parliament, then as a speaker. Now, at that time is when I began now doing mine. Actually, I've gone very far. But now this other one came and they say, no, just hold on. This is another experience which I think I will not want to leave out of the record. So, Sicily, you have done well. This is very good, it's commendable. And it's a challenge to many of us. And like has been said, it is good to tell our own stories. Even that will find it will be somewhere in there. So I'll also be writing the story of my namesake. Yeah? Because all this is important and it's good that we document it and try to encourage others. We cannot be a nation that prides itself. We talk about Kenya having a very well-educated citizenry, workforce, what? I mean, surely we must also give them material, feet on which to stand, reading the experiences of others, so, and seeing how much it is that we can impact. How much is it that we can impact in, the lives of others in a positive way. A lot of people have always asked me whether I stopped doing politics. I want to like Mtandao somewhere, we call ourselves the class of 81. The class of 81, and we have quite a number of us. Recently, when Lady Justice Fatuma Chale was elected by the Court of Appeal judges to join the Judicial Service Commission, I welcomed her and told her you are joining two of your other classmates. Justice Mohammed Ibrahim and I. I think it would, if I had completed writing mine, Sicily, I would have left out quite a bit of interesting stuff. Some of which I'm not at liberty to disclose at this open forum, but which I continue sharing with many people from time to time in the various places when we do meet and have an opportunity to chat. Before I conclude, as I congratulate Sicily, permit me to recognize the presence in our midst of the chairman of the Public Service Commission, which is one of the Chapter 15 commissions in our Constitution, Ambassador Mwaniki Mushiri. Karibu sana, Chairman. Pigieni makofi. The chairman of the Public Service Commission, kwa wale vijana ambao wanatafuta kazi, basi hayo nayo ni ingine. Mheshimiwa Kirwa alisema vile alifanya, basi sasa iko huyo naye yako hapo. Also in our midst, allow me also to introduce and recognize my very good friend na elder kutoka Embu. In Embu is known as KK. It's called Kidhinji Kirago. He's the chairman of the IGRTC. Maybe for that, some people to scratch their hands a bit. Ine wengi. And I want to really also commend the publishers. When you hear us calling or knocking on your doors, please, we have also some stories we want to tell. Yeah? Oh, Sicily is the one to take the commission. I'm not too sure that problem is I always pride myself with a very good handwriting. So the person who has written this one has not, I'm not able to read. I don't, even when I was on the bench, I've seen a number of young lawyers. The Ule Speaker, County Assembly saying he's a lawyer. The other one, the advisor. He has a name which is very interesting. Derry Deani. He's a young lawyer. He spoke a lot about lawyering and Wahome. The reason I'm saying I'm not able to read, and if I can't read, really, you pardon me, I would always give my proceedings to lawyers to go and photocopy, because they would be able to read even if they want to pursue some appeals. I'm sorry, I'm not able to read a bit of what is written here. Please, if you can help me, if it is important. So, and the point which was the one I was not able to read is a simple one. In fact, it's citizens, leaders, farmers, sportsmen, and women. You also have some experience that you can put into books and let us read about it also, not just sensational This is a real story about the journey of life, the journey you've walked. In fact, not many people would want to say that they went to do, you called it standard 7, Form 7, yeah? I'm sure when you read mine, you'll see what it is I was doing at age 21. It might be a bit exciting. I'm sure my friend Kirwa will want to read that bit at age 21. It was very exciting. Those were very exciting moments. But you know, she was running a school. You know, very interesting. You see how people can. I mean.
Kirwa, Sicily Kariuki, the CEO East African Educational Publishers, for the unveiling of the book.
And the only KC in the room. You know, Jeff, I cannot keep on reminding you my husband. I am because he is. I can. Jeff, I can't. Thank you.
All right, KC. East African Educational Publishers. Slowly, just wait. Calm down. Mpaka ishike moto, eh? Aha. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the author, Breaking the Illusions, Sicily Kariuki. Wapi makofi mazuri tafadhali. Tupige makofi mazuri. Wapi makofi? Wapi makofi mazuri? Wapi makofi? Breaking the Illusions by Sicily Kariuki. There it is, guys. There it is, folks. The book is officially unveiled. Congratulations, Sicily. Asante sana. To East African Educational Publishers, asante sana. and also Emerging Impact Associates Limited. Thank you. Thank you very much. Makofi mazuri ya mwisho tafadhali. Tupige makofi mazuri tafadhali. Thank you. So we are going to do a group photo, starting with the whole team. Mr. Kariuki Kamau, please, for a photo. Kuja mbele kidogo, kuja mbele kidogo. Yes, leave a space there. Aya sasa. Please smile for the cameras. This is a great thing. Please smile. Professor Kobia. JB Kilimo and Mase Mwangangi and Dr. JB and Mase Mwangangi. This is the strength of Embu County Professionals after BCom class of 90. Haya, angalieni watu wa picha tafadhali. Thank you. Class of 90 become class of 90, and then followed by Embu Professionals. Class of 90 become class of 90. Haya basi. After Embu Professionals, class of Kangaroo. After Professionals, after Embu Professionals, class of 90. So class of 90 followed by Embu Professionals. So Nyandarua people will be the last but not least. Haya, class of 90, hey. Class of 90, one meeting. Class of 90, angalieni mtu wa picha. So Embu Professionals, led by Honorable Kithenji Kirago. Honorable Kithenji Kirago, followed by Kangaroo, last but not least Nyandarua County. So Embu Professionals, we are waiting for you. Embu Professionals, we are waiting for you, and then followed by Kangaroo, class of 80s. So Embu Professionals, please come forward. Embu Professionals, followed by Kangaroo. Followed by Kangaroo. Nyandarua, be on standby. Nyandarua, be on standby. Haya, Embu Professionals, mtu wa picha ako pande hii. Haya, Embu Professionals, and please don't leave yet. There's a lot of food here. There's tea. We have snacks. Don't leave yet. So now let's have Kangaro and then Nyandarua. Kangaro, Nyandarua. Kangaro, Nyandarua. Wait. Thank you. Kangaro and then Nyandarua. Led by the speaker, former speaker, chief advisor, MCAs. This is Kangaro. This is Kangaro. Embu are going. This is Kangaro. So Nyandarua will be the last. So watu wa Kangaro, angalieni picha tafadhali. You're not smiling. You're too serious. Thank you. Let us have the Nyandarua team led by the speaker and former speaker. Where is Mr. Kariuki? Go back there. You are from Nyandarua. Go back there. Watu wa Nyandarua led by the speaker. You are also from Nyandarua. Go back there. Watu wa Nyandarua ndio hao. And please, you can now go and serve your, serve your tea. There is tea. Please go and serve tea. Mr. Kariuki. And please stretch your hands and hold the book. Haya, Nyandarua. Nyandarua people, please hold your book if you have it. Hold your book if you have it. Hold your book if you have it. Okay. Hold your book if you have it. If you don't have, Pole, make sure you get one. Grab a copy, 3.5 or 2.5. Choose. Thank you very much indeed. So thank you very much. Muranga, the in-laws, okay. Muranga people, we are done. This is the last one. Muranga people. The Muranga team. Muranga team. And please go and serve your tea, please. Don't leave yet. There is tea for everyone. There's a lot of food prepared with love. So Muranga people, where are you? You are here? All right. Smile. Nyandarua people, you're not smiling. Go away. Hiya, thank you. Let me have Nyandarua people. Nyandarua, you are here. This is Muranga people. So if you can, hold your book or you stretch your hands. Muranga people, you'll be directed by the photographer on where to stand. So thank you very much. So they are friends who did not fit anywhere. They're not mentees. They're just friends. They are not from Muranga. They're not from Nyandarua. Please come forward. This is for you. They are friends. They are friends. They are friends from all over. You didn't fit in the friends, in the family, in the profession. So this is your time. To all the friends, and thank you very much to East African Educational Publishers. Thank you to Reimagine Impact Associates Limited, and to everyone who's made this day a success. Thank you. Hiya, to the friends. Friends, you're being directed by the photographer. Listen to him. Before you go, grab a copy of Breaking the Illusions. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Asante. So we can have now the author alone. We can have the author alone now. We can have the author alone. Okay. Once you're done with this one, we'll do the author alone. So once this is done, we'll have the author alone for photo. Smile. Thank you. So, asante. Haya. So now we can have the author alone. Thank you. Haya, just go, Casey. One more, one more. So smile. Thank you. Casey. Haya, endelea. So thank you very, very much to East African Educational Publishers. Thank you to Reimagine Impact Associates Limited. Thank you to everyone who's made this day a success. Thank you. All right, Dr. Liz, we are done with the photos, but Dr. Liz, go ahead. Done. Thank you very much indeed. God bless you. Please go and have your tea. Please go and have your tea. We are done. Thank you very much. Wow, yes, by the way.